Hey guys, welcome back to Econ Time with SK. So grab your notebooks, your favorite cup of coffee, and let's get started.
So, today we're going to start off by talking about taxes and subsidies and then go on to talk about government regulations. So, let's get started. I'm going to teach you a very simple way of thinking about taxes and subsidies, okay? ট্যাক্স হলো যখন তোমার পকেট থেকে সরকারের পকেটে টাকা চলে যায়. Alright? It's some money that and you can be the consumer, you can be the firm. So when I say you, I mean consumer অথবা firm. Okay? So from either the consumer or the firm, সরকারের কাছে টাকা চলে যায়. This is tax. আর subsidy হলো যখন government তোমাকে টাকা দেয়. Alright? So again here, you means producer. Okay? So বোঝা গেল tax হলো গিয়ে, so usually from an individual point of view, tax seems like a horrible thing because আমার পকেট থেকে টাকাটা চলে যাচ্ছে সরকারের কাছে, and subsidy usually makes us happy because subsidy means সরকারের কাছ থেকে আমাদের কাছে টাকাটা আসছে. Okay? So let me give you a quick example, okay? তোমরা subsidy কোথায় usually দেখা যায়, alright? One of the most common examples of subsidy actually is, think of our education system, alright? বিশেষ করে if you think of our primary education, okay? How is it free? Is it really free? Because tuition pay করতে হয় না, right? If you're going to a government school, then you don't have to pay tuition. How is this happening? It is because the government is paying money to run the schools. Okay, so the government is paying for teacher salary and purchase of books and all of that. Okay, so essentially what is happening is there's a lot of subsidy going from the government to the different primary schools. Okay. On the other hand, tax is something that you're very familiar with, and in this particular chapter, we're going to be focusing on tax that is imposed on firms, okay? Specifically, the type of tax we are going to be focusing on is the type that the government directly goes and imposes on the firm, so the firm has to go and pay that tax to the government, and it of course affects their cost of production. Okay, with this introduction, I think we can delve a bit deeper. So the first slide here is actually about tax, okay? And what are we seeing? We're saying, okay, you know what? Let it be the case that there's a shoe manufacturer and the government comes and imposes some tax on shoe manufacturing, okay? তখন, as I told you, the first thing it's going to affect is the cost of production. So we're giving an example here. So let's say that every shoe that was costing $4, now producers have to pay $2 on it, right? So that means that to the producer, the cost of production goes up. Okay, যখন cost of production goes up, then we can say that, of course, remember, cost of production goes up always means profitability falls. So of course, shoe sellers are now going to be producing less at whatever the price is, so each and every price. So the supply of shoes will of course decrease, right? So this is statement 1, statement 2. And then finally, if you're talking about the curve, the supply curve is going to shift inwards, okay? Or leftwards from S1 to S2. So this is step 3. Okay? So tax was very straightforward. Now let's look at the case of subsidies. All right? So let's say that the government actually provides a farm subsidy, let's say of $2. All right, for every unit of rice produced. So basically what the government is trying to do is it's trying to support local industries. It's trying to help farmers increase the production of rice, right? So when the farm subsidy is given, of course, from the farmer's point of view, it's now cheaper to produce rice. So the cost of production, it falls. When the cost of production falls, farmers actually are going to produce more at each and every price. Okay, so this is our step 1. So saying this whole long sentence, farmers are producing more at each and every price, this essentially translates into যে riceer supply বেড়ে যায়, right? Supply of rice goes up. So this is our step 2. And what does it do to the curve? The supply curve actually then shifts outwards from S1 to S2. So starting here, we have got our step 3. So always remember, in order to not mess up the sequence, you should follow this pattern I've taught you of doing S1, S2, S3.
Alright, guys, I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.